Vesfuhala, which is hello in Old English. Well, it means hello to all, because it's a masculine and feminine language, and it's different compared to who you're addressing or whatever. Anyway, I'm back over the woods, as I usually am. It's quite a nice day. You know, it's a lot of bird song. I hope that can be picked up, but there is a lot of bird song right now. Looking out to the distance, and it's sort of, the sky has gone yellow as the sun is going down, and it's very nice. It's just the same old thing, really. It's yeah, I mean, life is just the same thing. Every day is the same, to be honest. You could say, well, you're obviously not trying hard enough to change things, but I don't know. I don't think things can be changed. I think the universe is programmed in a certain way for certain for everybody individually, and I think I don't know, things just won't change, and it can't be changed for certain people. I had a job interview last week, and you know, it'd been about 5 years since I last worked, and you know, I woke up in the morning. I was obviously nervous about it, about doing this interview, and I just thought, oh, fuck it, just go and do it, and see what happens. Because before you know it, you'll be back in bed, isn't it? That's how, because you get older, and that's how quick days go. How quick days go by. Time just speeds up when you get older, and it's just how it is. But you spend a long time on your own, right? And you sort of get set in your ways, and you feel like you're lonely. You want to meet people and hang out with people, and you want to meet a woman and be married and stuff like that, but you kind of get used to being on your own. You kind of get used to not speaking to anybody, you know, and pulling yourself out of that is really difficult. Obviously I didn't get the job. That's obvious. Things don't change, you know. Things never change. Life never changes. And I think it's down to luck. I think it's down to luck. You know, I think when I was born, right, whoever was playing with the character stats, they took down the luck, and they put those stats, those points, into intelligence. That's how I look at it. So, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm the most intelligent person in the world, but I like history, I like geography, I like culture, I like all sorts of different things, and I like learning about all sorts of different things, but I'm not not really that social, and I also feel that I'm not really that lucky. As when I used to do, back in September, when I used to do those meet-up groups and stuff, and I remember meeting this guy. I can't remember whether I've actually said this before or not. I can't remember. But anyway, there was this guy. He was a large guy, quite overweight. Right? He had almost no hair, but he sort of grew his hair out, and it was like all over the place, right? And it was all like sticking up everywhere. And you know, and the top of his head, it's severely balding, right? But he just let his hair grow out, and it's just like sticking up everywhere, and you just kind of think, well, why wouldn't you just shave it all off? But I'm chatting to this guy. I'm friendly to anybody, but he was telling me about all his problems and difficulties and stuff, and he's got all sorts of health problems, whatever, and short as well, very short, very overweight, bald, I think he was about coming up for 30, I think. So I thought, well, life has probably been incredibly shit to you. But then he tells me, oh, I'm married. And I said, married? Okay. And I'm thinking, well, I'm a stranger, so if it makes him feel better to lie to a stranger, then let him, I suppose. But he shows me a picture, and it's this reasonably attractive woman that he's standing next to, and I'm thinking, well, it could be fucking anybody, couldn't it? But then a little bit later, she arrives and kisses him on the lips, and so I thought, well, it's true. Okay. What does that say about me then? And I think really it just comes down to luck. He was in the right place at the right time to meet the right person, and I think because my luck stat is just so low, I've not had the same sort of opportunities or the same level of luck as him. I look in the mirror when I get up in the morning, and I mean, if I'm gradually getting more and more undesirable. I don't know whether I was even desirable to start off with, but I feel like I'm just getting too old. There is too many women's standards are too high, and there's too many options for women. And I don't think anybody would ever take any notice of me, especially as I'm getting older, and I've noticed that I've got crow's feet. My head is extremely wrinkly. I think because I scowl all the time. So, but my hair is thinning. I used to go to the gym. I used to eat a lot. I used to have a big diet, high calories, steak, fish, all sorts of stuff on a regular basis. And so going to the gym, I was thinking, well, hopefully I'm turning the calories into muscle. It never changed. It literally never changed. So obviously I'm not built, I'm not sort of made not made for it. I mean, it is good for you, but I'm not made for that. Yeah, because my weight, it fluctuates between about 11 stone to about 12 stone, and I can't seem to get it up any higher than that. Even with this high protein and high calorie diet, it wasn't changing. It wasn't changing. So it's just how I'm built, you know. And I was going to the gym quite regularly, you know, intensive workouts and stuff, and it wasn't making any difference. It like I couldn't see any visible changes on my body at all. I didn't feel any better or any different. Yeah, I just think that's how it is, and I'm considered underweight because my height. I'm well over 6 foot. I'm 191 centimeters. What? 6'3", 6'4", something like that. So I think it is what it is. So yeah, lots of bird song. Lots of bird song. Hope that's being picked up. It's rather nice. I can't remember what I was saying now. So yeah, I'm sort of a recluse. I'm set in my ways, and I feel like I more fit the more scholarly role. I have my own special interests where I have to learn every detail, and yeah, I'm much more of a scholar than anything else, and I think you have to come to accept that. Like, things aren't changing, and things won't seem to change at all, and so not even society wants me to as a in the workforce. So I mean, I'm the sort of the scholarly role is probably where I belong, and yeah, it's about accepting that, I think, because I'm more and more losing interest in meeting people. I don't know what happened back in October when they banned me from coming to the group. Where was this skinny bloke? You know, it was this fucking skinny bloke. You know, like a Sheldon Cooper type from The Big Bang Theory. I hate that show, by the way. I think it's cringe. Because you hear everybody laugh because he made a reference to, say, Star Trek or Doctor Who, and I'm thinking, I'm still waiting for the joke. I don't know what the joke is. Is it? Yeah, it's just as simple as that. He made a reference to something nerdy. He's so funny. He's so quirky, and I'm like, okay. But anyway, yeah, he's like Sheldon Cooper. He's a normie, basically. He's a normie, but he's he's sort of goofy. You know, he's got this goofy sense of humour, and that. But I don't mind being friendly to him and chatting to him, and he was the organizer of the event, right? And then I'd said some things that, because I've got quite a dry sense of humour, and he seemed to laugh at it, and so then I spoke to that other bloke with a bald head, and I said, "Hey, you look like that bloke from American History X. Have you curb stomped any blacks recently?" He thought it was funny, but then and then I get that email that says, "Yeah, you've been banned from the group." No, it's like somebody said that you said something racist or something, and I'm like, okay, do you want to clarify what it was that I said? And I don't get a reply. Instead, I just get, "You've been banned," and I'm like, fuck you then, prick. So, oh well. I mean, I wasn't really getting anything from that anyway. They were all normies and stuff and whatever. But I feel like there's nothing lost there. There's nothing really lost. And I think even if I do get back into working, I don't think anything would really change. It didn't change before when I was working. I used to work in a pub. I used to work at a caravan park before that, and I've had several jobs, and even way back I was a labourer working with blokes and stuff, and they were all like, "Oh, we're going to go down the pub. We're all going to go down the pub in a bit," and I didn't really fit in any of these places, is what I'm saying. With these people, like I say, you got to be at the right place at the right time to meet the right people, and I've just never a lot of the time, just never really on the same level with a lot of people. I like the countryside, and I like being on my own. Well, yeah, like I say, I'm getting into that, just falling into that routine. And at this stage in my life, I feel like I should have already have made social connections, but I haven't. My father was married, not at my age, but 3 years younger than me, right? So I guess I just think, fuck it. I think to keep trying to do new things, but I don't feel like I'm ever going to get anywhere. And going travelling probably seems like a good idea. I went travelling recently to Norwich. I like going to Norwich. I like the medieval town that it is, city that it is. It's I like all that sort of thing. I like walking around the cathedral. I took some photos. The cathedral is quite nice. But nothing eventful really happened. I've been to Norwich several times, but the most recent time, as I went the other day, I actually decided to take some photographs and stuff. But oh yeah, they had a science festival happening just as I had turned up, and I didn't even know there was anything. I didn't even know what events were going on on the day. I was just going to go anyway and see what happened. Yeah, they had a science festival, and I went into this tent, and they were dissecting an ibex, I think it was, and yeah, that was interesting. I'm not phased at all by gore, or it got stinky because of feces and the food that was still in its mouth. But yeah, I'm not phased by shit like that. You know, I used to be a carer, so I'm not phased by things like that. I've cleaned up someone else's shit, someone else's piss, someone else's puke. It doesn't like phase me at all. I have a pretty strong stomach, basically, when it comes to stuff like that. But I don't want to do care work ever again, to be honest. Don't want to do that anymore. You know, if it comes to the family, then I'll do whatever, but I wouldn't want that as a job. Nah. But yeah, I just wandered around Norwich and kind of just... I never spoke to anyone. I just observed people, observed how they spoke to each other and what they were talking about, and I ended up in this cafe. It seemed like there was a lot of people in there, and I took a seat in the corner and just kind of watched people going past the window, and I watched other people at other tables just chatting and stuff like that, and I noticed there's quite a lot of the old socialisty, communisty types, hipster types, you know, not really my kind of people, but probably get offended by something I'd say almost immediately, I would imagine. So, but I don't know how to meet genuine, proper people, and I don't know where people go. So, oh well. But I like Norwich. I like Elm Hill, which is the old part of the city, like the really ancient part of the city. There's even a ancient wall as well. I didn't take a picture of the ancient wall. I should have done, but I didn't. But the cobble streets and stuff over at Elm Hill is what I took pictures of, and I like the buildings, the design of the buildings, the colours and stuff. It reminds me a lot of buildings like from Oblivion or something. Some of my favourite cities in Oblivion were places like Cheydinhall or Coral. Coral mainly. You know, it really reminded me of, it had this old England aesthetic that was really cool. Whenever I finished Oblivion, well, came to the end of Oblivion, once I've done everything and there's nothing else to do, nearly every single time I would either buy a house in Coral or Bruma, and those were the two cities. No other city. I didn't want a house in any of the other cities, just Coral or Bruma. Yeah. I don't have any like social media or anything like that. I'm completely off the grid. I've never really had social media. It's never interested me enough to have it. Some people, that's an immediate turn off. Like, they immediately switch off when they hear that I don't have any social media or anything. Because I think it's like a narcissistic thing, because they feel like, oh, look who I'm hanging out with, you know. It's like, who cares? But I have, like, like an almost no impact on the world, right? And this channel on YouTube is all that exists of me, you know. I feel like if I eventually die, no one would ever know of me even existing other than this channel. Suppose I'm fine with that. There's not much else I can do about that, to be honest. I don't really give a shit about politics either. I got no... there used to be a time when things used to matter, but now nothing matters. Everything's inconsequential. I didn't even bother voting in the last election. I don't give a shit. I mean, you got Labour who wants to accelerate our eventual extinction, you know, our total erasure of our culture and our people from existence. And then you got the Conservatives who just didn't really give a shit, just letting things happen as well. So if someone like Starmer, if he fucked up so bad in his term, right, in his time as Prime Minister, if he fucked up so badly, he wouldn't give a shit. He wouldn't give a shit. He'd be rolling in taxpayer money and he would just disappear. You never hear of him again. Like, he'll just fucking... He's got... just go and retire in one of his 5 mansions, you know. He doesn't give a fuck. None of them do. None of them give a fuck. They're all in the pocket of someone else. Everybody. Yeah, this, you know, Marxism and all that sort of thing. I don't take any notice of it, you know. I don't get upset by any of it. I see all sorts of stupid shit on it, even when I'm out and about, and even on my news feed and stuff. I see all sorts of stupid shit. And there's no point getting upset over it, because who cares anymore? No one else seems to care. You know, that our leaders don't care, then why should we? Who gives a fuck? This country's fucked. Europe's fucked. You needed someone like me to basically say, alright, you've had your fun, now fuck off, get out. But you don't. So, if they don't care, why should you? Yeah, it's quite depressing, really, when you think about it. As we've had thousands of years of our existence, all of these achievements that we have made, everything that we've contributed to the human species, and I'm not just talking about us as the English, but I'm also talking about the white race, you know. And they want to erase our culture and erase us from history, and yeah, that's how it is, I'm afraid. So yeah, I don't watch normal television. I don't give a shit what the media says about anything, you know. I don't give a fuck. Not interested. I'm not in the loop. And then you got slop content on the what do you call it? The things like the Netflix and the Amazon and all that shit. I don't have anything like that. I don't give a shit. It's all fucking slop to me. I haven't been to the cinema since I went to see The Northman in March 2022. I think that was. That was the last time I went. I'm not gonna fucking see the an elderly Harrison Ford play the Red Hulk and fight the Captain African. You know, I don't give a shit. Well, watch a lot of films. I watch a lot of television and stuff. I spend a lot of time watching things, and I would much prefer to watch stuff that is actually really good. I would waste my time watching stuff that's actually really good, then waste my time watching stuff that's mediocre or bad. I don't follow certain things, and I'm not up to date with certain things because I just don't care at all. Not interested. I'm right off the grid. So I think a few weeks ago now, or a week ago, I can't remember, I made a video where it was called the Walking Dead, the canon ending, right? It's what I consider as the canon ending. I feel like that it was a rushed video. I think I got really sick of the editing process. I had some ideas. I had quite a lot of ideas what I wanted to include, but I just kind of felt like I wanted to just put it together as soon as possible. I don't really have the patience when it comes to editing. There is a lot of stuff in the editing software that's that seems quite complicated. There seems to be all sorts of different things, but I probably need to spend more time on learning how to edit. But it is time consuming, and I just can't concentrate that long. But I'm not saying that The Walking Dead was like my favourite show ever or anything. I just recently I watched through The Walking Dead when it was coming on the TV. I've only watched it through once, right? I don't get when people say, I've heard people say like, when you're watching something, you need to watch through it like 2 or 3 times to really understand and really get what they were trying to say, you know. And I'm like, why do you have to watch it that many times? Like, I can. Do you not like pay attention? You know, the first time round, I usually just pick up on all the details because I'm paying attention. I don't feel like, oh, I need to rewatch it, or, you know, I'll rewatch it because I like it, but I don't feel like I need to rewatch it because I missed something, something important that will actually make me like it. Like, I suppose, like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, is probably the best movies ever, right? I think that's irrefutable. But you know, you could rewatch it over and over and over again because of how good it is. But maybe later you start picking up on certain details that you never noticed before, and you think, oh, that's cool, you know, that's cool little details, you know, I never noticed before. But it's not like details that necessarily impacted the whole story, you know. I don't know. Some people say this about certain things and say like a film is generally considered. I think that the film is bad, right? And then, you know, someone else watches it and they just go, actually, it's really good. You just need to watch it about 3 times to actually get it. And I think, no, because I picked up on, like, were you not paying attention? I picked up on all the details the first time round, but I'm rambling by this point. I'm repeating myself. But anyway, The Walking Dead, I was just recently thinking back on The Walking Dead and thinking, like, that used to be when the show started, there used to be quite a decent show. It wasn't like the best show ever, but it was quite a decent show. Because when you think of The Walking Dead, you think of, well, me personally, I think of it's very limited on plot. Like, the plot is very simple and very basic. Okay, it's character driven. right? That's what that's the thing about The Walking Dead. It's character driven, and I had a really good beginning, right? For the first season was quite engrossing, and also I would also say that another thing that comes to mind is its slow pacing. It's very, very slow paced, okay? That's not necessarily a bad thing, you know. I actually like the slow pacing, and I like the character driven stuff. I like the kind of, let's take time so you can get to know the characters and whatever. I quite like that. The pacing turns to absolute shit later on. That slow pacing turns into an absolute slog when there's just episodes of nothing happening and people wandering around in the woods. It's fucking boring. And then they build up momentum because Negan shows up, and they build up all this momentum to have this big epic war, and then it's just nothing but wandering around in the woods for a number of episodes because they had too many episodes. If they tightened it up and cut the episodes, because it was 16 episodes, and about half of the episodes you could just cut because it's filler. It's so boring. Anyway, I was just thinking back, I remember those first couple of episodes, that first season, you know, how strong it was. And I thought, so where did it all, because I think with a TV show or a series of films or something, if there's something I quite like, I think, okay, where's the cut-off point, you know? Because if it turns to absolute shit after a while, so where things start to get bad or outright just ruined, there's got to be a cut-off point, or a point where you say, I'm going to watch until here, and everything after this point is just shit and not worth watching. And so I was thinking about The Walking Dead, and I think probably season 6 is probably the best place to end it. I don't like the fact that they killed off Carl. That's awful. And what they ended up doing with Rick was pretty poor. What they did with his character was pretty crap. Like I say, they drew out these storylines that were it's just filler, nothing but filler. As soon as Negan shows up, the show goes to shit. And it's not because of Negan himself, it's because of the writing of the show. It's because the show was fucking boring. So, I've gone off on a tangent about The Walking Dead now. I mean, I like talking about things in detail. If you like hearing my voice, I suppose, you can stay. If you like hearing what I have to say, you can stay. But if I'm getting boring, by all means, you can go. I mean, it's up to you, if anybody's watching or listening. But yeah, I think that the everything up to season 6 is probably pretty good. And then I like, because the tone for The Walking Dead is that it's very bleak, right? It's very bleak, it's very grim, it's very depressing. It's that's what The Walking Dead is, you know. And to have an ending that's so abrupt like that, it's like a Sopranos ending, right? It's abrupt, but at least the show doesn't go to shit, you know. At least the show doesn't get awful and goes to shit. I mean, The Walking Dead does eventually go to shit, but I would say I like to pretend that the season 6 finale is the canon ending of The Walking Dead, so it doesn't actually go to shit, is what I'm saying. So I like everything up until that point. I like Negan's performance. I mean, watching it back, it's, you know, there's quite a bit of swearing, and the swearing is probably unnecessary. Some of the swearing is probably unnecessary, but whatever, it's fine. I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan's performance. It's pretty good. But you know, ending abruptly like that, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Because I like there's some scenes leading up to the confrontation, you know, when everybody's on their knees. There's some scenes that I was thinking about using in the video. The one that came to mind is one when Simon says something like, do you really want to make this your last day on Earth? And then Rick says, do you? And I feel like that's, in my mind, I feel like that scene is foreshadowing. That's how I see that scene. That's a foreshadowing scene, because at the very end, it's Rick who has chosen to die. And I think that Negan was just fucking around the whole time. I think he's just, you know, he already knew who he's chosen. He's chosen the leader of this enemy group, Rick. Only makes sense, doesn't it? But and also, I also decanonize the line where Abraham says, "Suck on my nuts." Yeah, I think that's probably a good thing to do. I think that Abraham would probably say something like, "Go fuck yourself," or something like that. I mean, I don't think that what he ended up saying was very good. Anyway, yeah, and also, yeah, because the show starts with Rick and it ends with Rick. I don't like what they ended up doing with Rick later on. They drew the show out so long as well, and they made all these fucking spin-offs, which is madness. I hate the spin-offs. They're absolute shit. And then they brought back Rick again. Oh, it's just awful. I have watched Fear the Walking Dead, and I really quite liked the first season of Fear the Walking Dead. I thought that was really quite a decent start, but that show went to shit as well. The biggest mistake that they made is that they fired Frank Darabont. Frank Darabont is the director of The Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile, and also The Mist as well. So he's got pretty good credentials. But yeah, they fired him because of, they said basically, I think it was something like, we want to cut the budget, but we also want more episodes. So that doesn't make sense, really, does it? You want more episodes, but you want to cut the budget. Then the show is going to be lesser in quality then, isn't it? Just like Fear the Walking Dead turned to shit as well. But I think Fear the Walking Dead turned to shit because they started killing off all the main characters of the Clark family that started the show, and replaced them all with Morgan. We've made it the Morgan spin-off. But yeah, it all went to shit. It's like a lot of these shows. Even with, I was thinking about making a video for Game of Thrones, but I mean, I think too many people have already gone over Game of Thrones and whatever. Yeah, just stop watching once you get to the end of season 4, because yeah, it just gets a little bit worse and a little bit worse and a little bit worse, and then to the point where it's just absolutely shit. So yeah, I would be harsh and say, yeah, just stop watching at the end of season 4. Just don't even bother. They also kill off Stannis, I mean, in season 5, which is a personal favourite of mine, and then they just kill him off in the most underwhelming way possible. It's rather disappointing. So yeah, Doctor Who is another one which I'm currently in the middle of editing. Like I say, I hate editing, so it probably won't be. I probably won't upload it for quite a while. But I want to spend more time on it. I want to spend more time on it instead of just slap together the Walking Dead video, because I feel like when Mel says the N word, you know, that little clip that I put at the end where Mel says the N word, you know, I don't know why I ended it like that. I should have added some more scenes that supported my idea of why you should stop watching by the end of season 6. But like I say, I got tired of the editing process, and I was just like, oh fuck it, just put some pointless thing at the end, some nonsensical, something that has nothing to do with anything. Merle saying the N word, fuck it. So yeah, that needed more time. Oh well. And then I made another video which is written, a lot of bits, a lot of text is written in Old English. Now, I'm not going to talk about that video at all. I'm not going to. It's very simple. It's very simple to me. I'm not going to explain what it means. So, yeah, it's up to the viewer to understand it. I think even adding the text was a bit unnecessary, but not so subtle. But I think you got to make it your own content, really. You know, putting text and stuff on it, because it'd just be a clip from Vikings. I'm just uploading a random clip from Vikings, you know. So, but yeah, I think I'll include some pictures and stuff, maybe some videos, in this audio log of my journey to Norwich. Well, my adventure in Norwich. I think in the future I'll probably do something similar and go somewhere else. I quite like East Anglia. I like Norfolk. I like Suffolk. But I might eventually venture further. I might venture a bit further away. I don't know where. Who knows? There's nothing planned at the moment. I don't have a schedule. I don't plan anything out. It just happens when I feel like it. I'm not. I don't always feel like it. Feel like doing things. So. But anyway. Yeah. Goodbye, I guess, until the next one. There's Vita Zen.